Hey everybody, it's Bronco from Apex Vaulting. Wanted to get you guys a video before the holidays started. Today's video, what I wanted to discuss, pole brands, right? Everybody wants to know what's the best pole brand. Like this time of year, a lot of clubs are out there renting poles. Some people are out there selling poles, and everybody's talking about their pole brand, and their pole brand is the best. And people ask me, Bronco, what's the best pole brand? My answer, it's the brand of pole you have access to. Guys, you have to be careful out there. There's so many people that talk about poles and why this pole is superior and that pole is superior. I think most of the people that are out there talking about poles don't even know how poles are constructed. For those of you that don't know, there's two forms of poles. There's carbon fiber or fiberglass. Carbon fiber poles tend to be a little lighter, a little thinner, because it's a stiffer material. That being said, historically, they tend to be more easily breakable. Fiberglass, a little bit more durable, but it does take more fiberglass to make a stiffer pole, so they tend to be a little thicker, a little heavier. That being said, guys, it's not dramatic, okay? I think oftentimes if you have people that are talking about how amazing some pole is and how it's transformed their jump, they're trying to sell you something, okay? To give an example, one of my athletes here at Apex, we have UCS, okay? That's just the pole I started buying. I have a relationship that I've developed. I'm comfortable with this company. I could go into details of why I like UCS poles, but again, this is just my preference. You need to use whatever poles you have access to. And one of my college guys, jumped on UCS his whole life. He's at college and he's at one of his first meets, and it was pretty funny. He was jumping on a fiberglass pole. I think it was like a Pacer, just regular Pacer FX, and he was on a 14760, and he blows through, and he has his teammate and coach. They're like, oh, well, the 14765 is a carbon and it reacts differently, and they start talking about the sail piece, and he's kind of like, oh, okay. And he takes the next jump and clears the bar because he needed a pole that was 5 pounds stiffer. Guys, you have to make sure that you have the right length of pole in a series of poles going up at no more than 10 pounds. It's, I think, a luxury if you have a pole series that goes up in 5 pounds. Anything less than that, I really hope you're jumping high and you have a lot of training years that you need a pole that's less than 5 pounds stiffer. But again, you just want a series of poles. You want a certain length of pole, and you want those 5 or 10 pound increments, so you don't have to make these big jumps in pole stiffness. It's kind of like lifting weights, right? If I was squatting, I finish a set, that felt good. Maybe I go up 10 pounds, maybe 20 pounds if it's an early set, right? And I take a little bit bigger jump. And then obviously if you were gonna go to really PR, okay, maybe you only go up 5 pounds, But the same thing with poles. Start looking at poles as resistance, and you just need some resistance. So if you blow through a pole, you need to go up 5 or 10 pounds. The brand of pole is not that big a deal. I think obviously it would be best if you have the same brand of pole just for continuity, because there are some slight differences from one brand to the other. But as an example, one of the families that has jumped to Apex, they had a line of Essex poles. And so they had a 13150, and I obviously have a UCS 13150. And I remember the dad was jumping one day and he's like, you know what, I just want to do back-to-back jumps and just feel these out, see if I can feel any difference. And he looked at me, and after jumping on both poles, he's like, Bronco, I can't honestly tell you that I feel any difference. There you go. There you go. And I think if you do feel any difference between pole brands, it's going to be because maybe you know, someone's 150 feels a little softer, someone's 150 feels a little stiffer. But don't get caught up Don't get caught up. When they start to talk about engineering and sale pieces and start talking about weird stuff that you don't understand, and to be quite honest, I don't know how much you need to understand it, don't get caught up in that. You just need a line of poles. You just need a line of poles that go up 5 or 10 pounds for each pole, and that you can make decisions at practices and meets and gives you flexibility, right? If you're feeling a little bit faster one day, feeling a little bit slower the next day. I think even sometimes, there'll be coaches that start talking about flex numbers. And I'm going to be quite honest. If you're in high school, you have 2 or 3 years of jumping. If a coach tells you that they have a, 13,125 that's flexed exactly at this number and this is what you need, you're not maxed out. You don't have 10 years of training. You're not going for some world record. You don't need a specific flex number. I think, I don't know if everybody out there knows what a placebo effect is. When they do studies with medication, they often give a sugar pill to one group and the actual medicine to another. And the sugar pill is 35% effective. And let me tell you, I think a lot of people in the pole vault community are chasing the placebo effect. They really want to believe that this pole brand or this flex number or these pair of pole vault spikes are going to make the difference and I'm going to jump higher. And sometimes you do jump higher, but it's not the pole brand. It's not the pole vault spikes, guys. It's the training you're doing. Don't get caught up in superstition, in placebo effect, and I hate people wasting money on things that they don't need. All right? You don't need the brand new pole brand. You don't need a special pole. I mean, I've even had people say, well, the poles at my school are over 10 years old. I'm like, yes. They're made out of fiberglass or carbon fiber. Are they chipped? Is it cracked? No? Then it's fine. Pole vaulting poles are not mechanical, right? Like there's no mechanical components that need to be redone. You don't have to change the oil. It's not something like that. And look, if you have poles at your high school or college and there's a good series, meaning they go up in 5 or 10 pounds, they're the same length, you're good. You're good. Don't get caught up in the hype. Don't get caught up by people that are trying to sell you something. And look, unfortunately, I've even seen people who jump really high, Olympians, who are like, oh, I just made the switch to this pole brand, and let me tell you, it's made all the difference. And guys, if you really look up their results, they didn't even PR, some of them. And if they did, I think it has a lot less to do with the pole brand and more to do, again, with their training. The best pole brand is the pole brand you have access to, guys. All right? Have a good holidays. I'm out, guys.